KTC Broadcasting. And we're going to go ahead and talk about some baseball right now. Some baseball this morning. It is, in fact, Braves country here at KTC Broadcasting. I know that Calvin and Kevin are Cardinals fans, but we do cover the Braves here. And if you're a Braves fan in the area, you got a real wake-up call the other day really to how explosive this offense is. I think they really put the league on notice as a whole when they scored 29 runs in 8 innings. I saw somebody, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw somebody tweet somewhere and said baseball or football got started early when the Braves scored 29, put 29 up in a baseball game. Tom, what did you think about that?
I thought it was fake. I had to go back
I
and
know
look
somebody texted me and said, "Is this real or is this fake?"
I thought it was fake, but you've said all year that the Braves can hit the ball. You're a little concerned about their pitching, but when you can score 29, you don't need a whole lot of pitching.
Tom, after last year's playoff destruction in the first inning of the last game in the playoffs last year against the Cardinals, they had two choices: to get better at pitching or hit more, and they chose to hit more.
Yeah.
The Brewers had 19 on the same day and didn't get the most runs in baseball.
It's crazy.
And they won 19-0, Tom, and got outscored by 10.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What if you'd have scored 19 in a baseball game and lost?
Adam Duvall
Would you be mad?
had 3 home runs in that game, and one of them was a grand slam.
Yeah, they said he had 3 home runs in the same game.
And one of them was a grand slam.
Hate to break your heart. There's a guy for Cardinals one time went 4 home runs and 2 grand slams.
Look,
but,
you just want to one up
who
it,
hit 2 grand slams? Fernando Tatis Sr.
I mean, you just want to one up it. That's fine, but last time I checked,
Fernando
we scored
Tatis
29.
Sr.
Scored 29 runs and that's what's so crazy too is that's now the highest run total on the season in one game. But I think it wasn't. But a week or two earlier, somebody got beat by I think the Tigers, and the Tigers had put up like 24.
I got a good one for you today, Hunter.
Yes.
Over under 29 points. UNC Charlotte versus Appalachian.
I mean, I don't even know what the spread is, but I know it's going to be
UNC Charlotte get 29 more or less than the Braves against Appalachian?
I knew this was going to come up eventually.
That's my question.
But that question doesn't make any sense. Will they get 29 more or less? I'm like, well, if they get 29 less, then UNC Charlotte ain't scoring.
The prop bet is
over
will
UNC
29. Charlotte score more or less than 29 points this weekend against App?
Okay, then the answer is less.
Okay. That was the question.
Unless
how many football teams this weekend will score less?
Unless UNC Charlotte somehow.
Than the Braves.
I wonder what the actual spread is in that game.
We'll find that out shortly.
We will find that out shortly.
I just wanted to interrupt Hunter on some of his Braves lust for a second.
Listen,
just to break him up a second.
We're first in the division.
We are Braves affiliate.
We're first in the division. That's all I gotta say right now. I mean, we did put up 29 and lost the series, so that's great.
Yeah.
I guess.
Y'all even outscored them by 10 and still lost the series.
All it took was that one game. That one game. That's all it was.
Well, according to ESPN's projections, 3, 6, 8 teams in the American League are 92% or better to make it. They're pretty much saying it's over as far as the playoffs are concerned. The best percentage.
Then why are we playing these next 18 games? Just stop it now.
And that's these percentages because I mean, like some of them are only like a game or two out of the spots. But anyway, Cleveland's in third right now. Tom's Indians can't
dropping
go around
like a rock.
Can't go around losing to the Royals, can you?
Dropping like a rock. I mean, they can't. I was reading about them the other day. Their outfield, I think, is batting 190 or 185.
It's not good.
Their 3 catchers are also below 200. They're like at 153. I mean, you can't win when you're not. I mean, you got to have some production from your outfield. I mean, how can you win? How could you put that on your pitcher and say, look, you got to hold them to 2 runs or less, or we can't win.
Right.
I mean, they're the only one hitting the ball's Reyes. I mean, and he's batting 303.
Yadier's batting 268.
Yeah,
37.
Yeah, we could use him on our team.
You want to know what the craziest thing is right now, though, in baseball? And I love every second of it. the New York Yankees are slowly playing themselves out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cleveland is too. I mean, it's not going to surprise me to see Cleveland drop all the way out of the playoffs if they don't start hitting the ball.
All
Yankees
I
are
heard-
98% to make it.
That
So
they're listen, they'll make it, but they're not. Once they get in, at the seeding that they'll get in at, I don't.
hey,
It's amazing they can't do more with their money.
Orioles go on a 10-game win streak. I mean, they could knock them out. I mean, or
They really
7-game win
could.
streak.
They really could.
So, looking at some of these, you say Baltimore, they're only 4 games under 500, but, we've only got so many games left. So it's make a run now, time, Hunter. There's only 18 games, 15, 20 games
Because this
left.
is all I've heard all offseason leading up. It's going to be a Dodgers-Yankees World Series.
And I'm going to be struggling to watch a single pitch if that's the case.
Exactly.
Let me tell you who the
Possibly the Dodgers will still get in, but I don't think the Yankees cannot stay healthy to save their life. When have they ever had
our
Stanton
NBA
and Judge
finals are gonna
together?
be Boston, LA, and
New York,
and
LA, and
LA,
by baseball.
Way, yay! Let's all
I-
worship the big
I
cities.
I do have the point spread in the Appalachian.
All right, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Minus 17.
Good God.
That's it.
I think I'm smelling upset.
That's it.
I'm
Tom,
smelling
I don't
upset.
know what the hell
All
you
right.
smelling.
St. Louis's problem, they are besides the fact playing double headers every day and splitting. They are. That's what they're doing. They have lost to Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Kansas City. They've lost to every team they've played. They haven't swept nobody. They're not, and they're 500. They're sitting right there. Before the season started, I even said if they finish 30-30, that wouldn't be a surprise. But I don't see them getting more than 32, 35. They're gonna stay at 500. They need better pitching and better hitting. Actually,
So it's safe to say they need better.
we're getting like
everything.
3 runs a game both ways. Or 4 runs a game both ways. So it's not.
Hmm.
You could do one or the other, I
Interesting.
guess, but they didn't make any moves or didn't do anything.
So you're saying
they just need to improve.
the
at
Cardinals might not make the playoffs?
something. No, I'm not saying that. No,
That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying they might not. They're not going to win the division. They will make the playoffs. Yadier is breathing.
I don't know if they'll make the playoffs.
Hunter, Yadier is breathing.
Listen,
He's breathing.
I don't know
Hunter.
hey, so far I've got 200.
You said whatever you were. You
I've got
me.
200% locks right now, and one of them is not even going to win that division. So
Yeah, that's true. Cardinals are sitting at 66.6% for you.
What are the Indians about 70%?
95.
I'm just telling you.
99.3.
It's not going to surprise me if the way they're hitting the ball right now. That percentage is going to come down.
Well,
once
who
they start
catches
hitting the
them though?
That's what I'm saying.
Astros. I mean, even the Astros
might.
are already in.
The Astros are in.
I mean, what they added an extra playoff team this year, so
ball. Yeah, I mean,
anybody that might be struggling can still get in. It wouldn't surprise me if Miami, if you talk the National League, tries to make a run.
I guess let me look at the standings.
It's crazy
again.
though, because I guess though the Cardinals will definitely get back to their full games played, equaling out everybody else's. I know they had about a 3-week hiatus where you were like, "Who are the Cardinals?"
Yeah.
But if they make it, I don't necessarily know that they, like how Kevin said, pitching and hitting both sides are struggling. I don't know if they can outpitch anybody, and I don't know if they can out-hit anybody. And the main reason why I say I don't know if they can out-hit anybody is I know they have a plus 25 differential, but the teams that are in front of them, the Chicago Cubs are plus 15, so that's not as great, but they also are 26-20. The Padres are plus 70, and the Dodgers are plus 98 run differential. So
Crazy.
if you can't outscore them, then
Yeah.
that's going to be the problem. And pitching will always be a hard matchup against the Dodgers because they have great pitching right now. And then you look at Atlanta. The other team in front of them right now that make is the Phillies. They're only plus 4, but they're only 2 games over 500, so that's going to be tough for them. But the Braves, plus 52 run differential.
Yeah.
So this is just tough for Kevin's Cardinals if they do make it. Same reason, and really for me, Atlanta only has 50% of that problem.
Yeah.
We only have a pitching problem.
And,
I've seen this team come back from 6-7 down to win the game.
yeah.
I've seen them drop 11 runs in 2 innings. This is probably one of the most, if not the most explosive offense that could go off at any moment.
Yeah.
The problem is we're the opposite. You guys are the Indians, we're the Braves, but the
Yeah,
only thing that we don't
definitely.
have in common is we're polar opposites on what we do on a baseball field. You can pitch, we can't pitch. We hit, you can't hit.
Yeah, if you look at it is a crowded field. Like if you look at the Cardinals with 19 wins because they're starting to get caught up.
Yeah.
You got the Marlins with 21. You got the Mets with 21. You got the Brewers with 20. You got the Reds 20. Of course, they have 25 losses. You've got the Giants there with 23 wins. You got the Rockies with 21 wins, and the Diamondbacks have 17, but they have 29 losses, so you can pretty much eliminate them. But there's just a lot. There's just a crowded middle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a crowded middle.
There's a crowded middle,
harder.
and in the National League, there only seems to be one team that looks head and shoulders above everybody else. And that's unfortunately the Dodgers.
Yeah.
As much as I wish as it wasn't, at this point, if you were to ask me who would win, the Dodgers or the Braves, I'd have to give the edge to the Dodgers because they're the more complete team. Now, would it be an easy series? Not at all. There will be one game where the Dodgers cannot outscore the Braves. That is a given. But there's one thing that I've been noticing with Atlanta, because obviously I'm on Twitter and I follow their official page or whatever. They're calling up and down pitchers left and right. They're sending them back down to the minors or whatever that little group is, where at least they work out and can be ready to be called up. And then they call these guys back up, right-handed pitchers, left-handed pitchers, so they know what the problem is, and they're trying to find a way to fix it. The only problem for me is the playoffs are not like I know they're coming a lot quicker, but they're not quite here yet. Because then you would have, a tighter pitching rotation. You might only pitch 2 or 3 of your aces, and or your studs. And once you hit that third guy, the ace is right back if you're there for a game 4. So when it comes down to that, I might feel a little bit better. I would feel a lot better if Soroka wasn't injured, because we'd have freed Soroka, the young guy Ian that we have. I can't remember his last name. That's at least 3, and then whoever we want for the 4th game. But this is just going to be tough for Atlanta. And then, I think it comes down for both of our teams, Braves, Indians, and even for the Cardinals, it's going to come down to matchups. Whoever you get matched up with in the playoffs is going to be a huge difference, because let's just take, me and Atlanta. So Atlanta right now looks like, just based off of record, they would be the 2 seed. They would be the 2 seed.
Right.
And what is it? The top 2? Is it only the first?
You get to select who you're going to play.
As I know. Is it the first 2 seeds that get to select who they played and everybody else plays?
I can't remember whether it's the top or the first 2. I have to look that up too, because the thing's a weird. It's just
so weird. I hate that.
Thing.
So let's not do the select thing right now. Let's just play it out like it was natural. So we would get the 4th team. How many are getting in? 7? Is it 6 or 7?
They're getting the top 2 from each division. What is the top 2?
Okay, so it'll be Braves, Phillies, Cubs, Cardinals,
and then the
Dodgers,
next 2.
Padres.
There's 8, right? This year it's 8. It's the top 2 in each division, and the next 2 with the best records.
That's the next 2.
Because if you had 7, it wouldn't work out. Somebody has to get a bye, and they're not doing that. They're not giving somebody a bye.
All right.
So it's going to be top 2, and that doesn't even matter if your record's worse than somebody else.
So it would be 2 versus 7. Whoever gets in at the 7, depending on who the Dodgers would pick because of that crappy BS,
Yeah.
So it would all come down to matchup wise. Matchup wise, I think we could handle. I'm looking at this. Who would probably get in? I've seen us play the Marlins good. We could probably handle with the Giants, so we would be fine. If we had to play the Padres, I'd be a little concerned. If we had to play, obviously, the Cardinals, I know what they did to us last year. I would be on the side of caution, but I still think Atlanta could take care of them. If we had to play the Phillies, I've seen us play the Phillies multiple times this year, and we go back and forth with them. That's usually everybody in our own division, though. And then I'm looking for you with the Indians.
They're not going to get to select unless they start playing.
No, they won't get to select. But it does look like you would get in as one of the not top 2 teams from your own division. You would be one of the extra wild cards. I guess that's what you could call it. One of the extra guys that get in. Who do you think you match up with the best that right now is a playoff team? I'll read you the playoff. Oakland, the Astros, Minnesota and Chicago. Chicago started off so slow, but they're absolutely hitting on all cylinders right now.
They've had more success against Chicago than they had Minnesota. Minnesota's beat them 3 out of 4. Then Cleveland beat them 2 out of 3, but they just lost to Minnesota last night. So with Minnesota hitting the ball as well as they do, even though we pitch well, I mean, I think it'd be a tough series.
And you got Tampa Bay.
And Tampa Bay, they're the one nobody talks about. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Nobody talks about the Rays. And then you got the Buffalo Blue Jays. They're looking good too. And the Yankees will probably get in. So I'm just looking at that, and I'm just trying to think, because that's exactly what it's going to come down to, is who's going to match up better with who when it comes playoff time.
Because of this weird schedule too, Hunter. Like I'm looking there, I don't think Cleveland plays the Yankees in a regular season. They don't even.
They don't.
No.
What? That's strange.
They don't play. But yeah, because
you usually play.
I'm almost positive they haven't, because I was looking for when they played them. I was looking down. They've got the Cubs again.
Cleveland. They should play everybody.
I don't
playing
think
the
they
Cubs,
do.
they better be playing the Yankees.
I do not think they do. So it's just weird because you haven't quite played everybody. It's like I can't remember Cleveland playing Boston this year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're, it's so weird. Typically you're going to play everybody in the American League, but
I'll tell you what, Tom. So far this year, you have not played New York or Boston.
Right. See what I mean? So you're asking me, well, how are they going to?
And guess what? You don't play either one for the rest of the season.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at the schedule.
I mean, so you ask, well, how would they match up against New York? Would be hard to tell. But you can guess. But I mean, when they haven't played,
you've played Kansas City.
I mean, I'm looking at
the White
schedule.
Sox and Detroit, and
the only teams that you've played,
Detroit, Kansas City,
is the Central teams.
And the NL, they played some.
Our Central, the NL. You haven't played American West or American East.
So you don't play any of them.
I think they only did it.
Who the hell?
I think they only did it.
Schedule?
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is where they only played.
That's what I was thinking. It was all regional.
I did not know that. I thought that we were playing everybody the same number of times since we could. So the Central's only playing Central teams. The East are only playing the East teams.
Right.
And the West playing West. That is not a good representation of anything.
I mean, I guess that's why they're expanding the playoffs and letting more in.
Well, now I have to look more in depth at the actual standings, because then if you're only playing the East teams, there is no measurement as against.
Yeah, I think that is the case.
It's harder to do because I've noticed that going through, because there was so much drama.
That you just blew
How
my
many
mind.
games are they going to play? What are they going to start?
Right.
You lost sight of. Well, they're not really playing everybody.
You just blew my mind with that one. Like they have done that.
I totally forgot that was even the case.
It's time to get rid of Rob Manfred.
Well, I can understand why you would, Hunter, because everything's so upside down and topsy turvy.
Every time you tell me something new every week in baseball, Tom. And every week, you know what I think?
Well,
that's the dumbest thing I've heard yet.
I've been chastised on the show for being greedy and not reading, so I'm actually neither one. But
at least
like
you
every
realize.
week, what did I tell you the other? Oh, who was getting in the play? How they were doing the playoffs, and he called me crazy.
When you did the second team is automatically in.
Right.
That was the one that was like, huh?
Well, I got into an argument with Terry over that. You're not the only one who has to argue with Terry, by the way. When Cleveland loses, I get a text message at 7:00 in the morning, and I immediately have to start arguing with Terry. I mean, so it's just you got to read up on things.
I just told you can't make any sense with someone that won't go by the official rules.
I mean, you're right.
The umpire won't go by the rules.
Only teams that we've played as our own division in American League East teams. And let me tell you something. We've got a winning record against the American League East.
Yeah.
So we swept Boston. The only team that I think we haven't played out of the American League East yet, the only team we haven't played yet is Baltimore. And
so
we
basically,
got them
the National League West has been just killing the American League West.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Hey, Mike Trout, welcome to the National League.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, be thankful you don't have to see the Dodgers just as much in 162 games.
The last 2 weeks, I've learned that the second place team, no matter how bad they are, gets in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And now you're
not playing. Like you're
only playing regional.
Because I know, so why are they playing the Cubs? Why are they playing the Pirates?
I assume. See, what I thought when they said everyone now has a DH, I assumed that's how the schedule was going to reflect it, that they were playing everyone. Not if they were only going to do this, they could have easily just said no DH, keep it the same. Whoever's at home is, and that would be fair, right?
Yeah. No, they did that because they want to eventually just implement the DH everywhere. And they were like, this is the year.
All right, JP.
This is the year.
You ready? We got to take another break. We got to talk about some technical stuff here in a second, Hunter, and get at it. And we'll be back in a minute. We've got NCAA football. We've got NFL football.
ACC starts today, ladies and gentlemen.
NASCAR playoffs and more when we come back on ktcbroadcasting.com.
Nowadays, buying a new car or truck is different because everything is on the internet. So why would anyone waste their time trying to get answers from a salesperson who's just going to beat you up for more money? At Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Forest City, our sales guys and sales girls don't work on commission. We have clear choice pricing, a free lifetime warranty, and you can find anything you might want to know on our 300 new and used cars and trucks online at Friendship Nissan or Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Remember, we're different, and we're right down the road in Forest City.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back. One local purchase